Welcome back to Bloody Good Chat. So for the next 30 minutes, you're our best friend. So sit back, relax, and let's have a bloody good time.
Period.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
And take a deep breath in.
Oh, I needed that.
Yeah. I feel like we've been waiting to get here all week, guys, if I'm being completely honest. So it's actually really nice to finally be sitting down.
The sun
Relaxing.
is shining.
Yeah. And how good does Eliza's hair look if you're watching the video?
Just blow waved my hair. I'm
So
trying to
good.
get better at it. I still need to perfect it. Like, it takes me so long and then it like drops. And then I'm like, well, what was the point of that?
You should try like the overnight heatless curls.
Yeah.
Like do that and then
then-
do it so it hopefully stays a
Yeah,
bit longer.
maybe I'll have to give that a go.
Yeah.
I need one of those little rods.
I'm just so like particular about my sleep. I feel like
Yeah,
if
it
I'm
gets in my-
uncomfortable,
yeah.
I like can't deal with that.
Yeah, I've tried to do it with socks before because you can just do it with socks. And then I was just like lying on my side and I was like,
Tossing and turning.
It just wasn't.
Yeah, guys, I remember when I was younger, I used to wear a hairnet to bed.
Really?
Yeah.
For
Like,
your curls?
no, I had my hair only went curly when I hit like puberty. Like if you look
Right.
at younger photos of me, my hair's dead straight. And I don't know why. I was just really like I loved everything in order. Like I was very neat and tidy and I'd always be like cleaning my room and keeping everything like really straight. And then I think the hairnet was just another way to keep everything nice and tidy and like contained.
Controlled.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like 9 years old wearing a hairnet to bed.
That's so good. Like a silk, like a bonnet kind of
No,
vibe.
like a net, like what you would wear in like a
Cafeteria.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can't imagine what my mum thought. She'd be like,
Was she buying them for you?
I think I got it from my grandma.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know where I got it from, but I
That's
do
super
remember
random.
wearing hairnets to bed. This is so random, super
That's
random.
so funny.
Anyway.
Maybe we need to give it a go. Maybe it's good.
Maybe, but I do love like washing my hair in the morning and wetting. Because I feel like after you sleep, my favorite thing to do is just to get in a shower, like
Yeah,
after
yeah,
waking
yeah.
up and like cleansing everything. So if I was to do that now, it just wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Like I haven't washed my hair this morning, and I don't feel like myself because it's like day 2 hair, and I never have day 2 hair. I always have fresh hair.
That's crazy. I always have like day 5, 6 hair. I never wet my hair because my hair takes so
It does.
long to dry. It's crazy.
Guys, we literally have to plan our day around like Eliza's hair drying because it'll be like 9 o'clock in the morning and we're like, let's film at like 2 o'clock. And she's like, oh, my hair probably won't be dry by then. I'm going to go
Literally.
sit in the sun.
It's crazy. My hair takes so long to dry. I think it's so like thick and dense. I don't really know. But I feel like I'm not wearing it as curly as much anymore because I'm just like over it. I'm
Can't be
like,
bothered.
yeah,
New
just,
phase.
just
Same.
straight hair is just so much easier
Yeah,
sometimes.
I do agree. And I'm the same with like the products. I started using like, I was like, got into using all the products. And then recently I've just been like, I just can't be bothered. And it looks better when I don't anyway.
Yeah, your hair's so naturally beautiful.
But it's funny because my hair dries really quickly.
Yeah, your dries
which is,
so quickly.
Because I think yours is thicker. Mine is like fine but curly, and like I have a lot of hair, but I also don't at the same time. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah. Anywho,
Should we keep talking about our hair? Let's do a cycle check-in. You go first.
okay, I'm day 23 of my cycle, and guys, I feel like I say this each week, but I'm feeling good. Like, I really don't have much to report. I think off the back of my little health blip at the start, every day's a good day. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm more mobile.
Are you saying that in the morning now still?
Yeah, best day ever.
Love that.
And yeah, definitely, I don't know. I feel really bad. I need to give you guys more details, but I'm good. And
You're a
that's all
pretty
I have.
consistent person though.
Yeah,
like-
I feel like I am pretty.
You're always morning, hi.
Yeah.
And like there's sometimes where I'm like, I can't be fucked to talk today. And Liza's like, morning, hi. But it is nice. You're like a little ray of sunshine, really.
Oh, thanks. No, yeah, I'm feeling good. Definitely feel like I'm more hungry. Like, I think that during this time of my cycle, I definitely need a snack to get me through. So I'll have like breakfast, and then between breakfast and lunch, I need a little bite to eat. And then maybe between
Love
lunch
that.
and dinner, I need
Love
another
that.
bite.
That is honestly one of my favorite things about you, I think, is how much you love to eat.
I do love all
Because
of the
there's
food.
nothing worse than like hanging out with someone and you're like, do you want to go to like get a cafe and get like a treat? And they're like, no, I'm not really hungry. And you're like, oh, fuck.
No,
But
I
you're
love-
never like that. You're always like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. I'm down for pound down.
For what?
Pound down. Anyway.
Pound town?
Yeah.
Isn't that a sexual reference?
Yeah. I don't know. It just can't come. That's what I'm down
She's
for.
hungry.
Sweet treats. Okay. How are you? What day of your cycle are you on?
I'm day 5 of my cycle. I'm feeling really good as well, guys. I don't really have any complaints. I did have a bit of a emotionally charged period, which if you read our Sister Scoop, you will have heard my words gibberish, which I have no scientific background reasoning for. It just literally is something that I made up. But it's funny because my mum read that Sister Scoop and the one thing that she got from it. So I spent like an hour pouring my heart into this Sister Scoop. But the title of the email was, "This is why I'll never do acid." And the reasoning for that was because I feel like my mind is so like high functioning anyway that doing something like acid, I would just like trip like way too hard on.
Yeah.
So I spent hours pouring my heart into this newsletter, and Mum goes, "Well, yeah, I was really surprised that you haven't done acid actually." And I was like, that's what you took from that newsletter was the fact that I haven't done acid. I was like saying about like my emotions and how they've been really high and how it led to like a really intense period. And she's like, "Yeah, wow, you've never done acid?"
Oh my God, I love that. Go, Mum.
Yeah. But anyway, besides that, I feel really good now. I feel like I've honestly felt like I've shedded and come into a new phase of my life,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Which is like, it's quite intense when you're going through that, and then when you pop out the other side, it's like, oh my gosh, colours, everything's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, love that. Oh, I'm glad you came out the other side.
Oh, me too, babe, me too, far out.
Alrighty, guys. Well, today we are changing it up a little bit, and every Monday on our story we try. Most of the time, sometimes we forget, but we post a Q&A, and we thought, why the hell not grab some of the questions from that Q&A, and we'll just answer them in this potty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like
because we do get a lot of questions, and we're really sorry if we don't get around to answering your question.
Yeah.
But there's only so much time we can spend on social media before we go crazy.
Yeah.
So we wanted to answer a few today. We've got 3 questions each that we're going to answer. And you can take it away.
Okay, my question number 1 is best contraception that doesn't hugely affect your hormones and overall health. Such a great question, and I think a question a lot of girls want to know the answer to. And something that I wasn't aware of is the fertility awareness method. So what's really interesting to know, girls, is on average, we're only fertile for about 6 days out of our entire cycle.
Which is crazy.
Let that sink in.
Yeah, and if you've got like a 30-day cycle, 24 of those days, you're not fertile.
You're not fertile. And the only ones that are fertile every single day are males, which make sense that we're the ones on birth control. But that's a story for another day. But the fertility awareness method is using your biomarkers, so things like your cervical mucus, testing your luteinizing hormone, and also tracking your basal body temperature, because there are certain things that are going to tell you when you are coming into your fertile window, and also things that can tell you when your fertile window has closed.
Yeah.
So if you can learn this method, this is the most natural way that you can have safe sex. Well, I'm not unprotected. What am I saying? This is the best natural contraception.
Yeah. This is the best contraception because it's natural.
Yes, that's.
And I would also argue that learning that method, you learn so much about your body.
Correct.
I even was thinking the other day, it's bizarre to me that I've only just learnt, like in my late 20s, that our egg only lasts for like 24 hours before it then becomes like reabsorbed by the body and you no longer have an egg there. And without an egg, you can't fall pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So
I think sperm that lasts 5 days in the reproductive tract. So
they
again,
hang around. They're lingering. Get away. Get away.
So yeah, that's what the method that we both use. We've used that for 3+ years now. Haven't had any scares, which is amazing. It is something that you have to commit to. You can't just go about your day, like take a pill and then just know that you're not going to fall pregnant. It is a commitment. You have to be tracking daily. And there is a right way to do this. There is a wrong way to do this. So, hey, if you are wanting to learn about this method, we actually have a pre-recorded program that teaches you the ins and outs of how to understand your fertile window. And this is also great for women that are wanting to fall pregnant, because a lot of women are trying to fall pregnant, but they're not tracking their ovulation correctly, and they're having sex when they're not actually fertile, which is going to mean that you're not going to fall pregnant.
Defeats the purpose.
Exactly. So, hey, if you want to check that out, it's in the link of our bio. But to answer the question, the fertility awareness method is the best natural contraception there is.
Yes, I do agree.
Cool.
I do agree.
Next one.
Well, speaking of contraception, guys, we might just stay on this topic. We have a question saying, you guys speak to the pill a lot. What are your thoughts on the Mirena? Now, just to make this clear, because I feel like there is always this question of like, what are your thoughts on this? What's the best form of birth control? At the end of the day, Eliza and I are very big on education, and we're very big on not judging you for choosing what you think is best for yourself. So if you feel like the Mirena is a good option for you because you've been fully informed by a healthcare practitioner, you've also fully informed yourself with all of the other methods of birth control out there, and you feel like the Mirena is something that you want to give a go, amazing, go for it. If we're speaking personally, I would never go on birth control again, just because of my experience on it in the past and the way that it's disrupted my hormonal health previously. But that's my own personal experience, and that shouldn't take away from what you're deciding to do.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just a lot of wrongs and rights out there, but at the end of the day, it's your body, and whatever way you choose to go down is always the right choice, because if you've chosen that for yourself and not because someone else has told you to do so.
Yeah, 100%. And then also, guys, when you start on that contraception, whether you're getting a Mirena inserted or start on the pill, continue using your body as a guide. If something feels off, it doesn't feel right, you've noticed mood changes, you just feel like a different person, then use that information to make the best decision, whether that's keeping it in or taking it out. So not only when you're making the decision to go on, but also stay on and figure out what's right for you, I think is really important.
And I'm thinking as well, there's probably the questions of like, okay, well, where do I start looking for in regards to information about this? First of all, Google. You can always chuck a question into Google and it does give you some good answers, but there's a really great book called Your Brain on Birth Control by
Sarah
Hill, and she gives a really good perspective. I think she talks primarily to the pill.
Yeah, it is to the pill.
But she gives a good perspective on like the good things about the pill, but also the negative things. And I really love that approach because I think as like being in this space, it's good to take into account both sides to the story, which I really appreciated in that book. So Your Brain on Birth Control by Sarah Hill is a really great book for the pill. I would even argue it's a great book just for everyone to read, to be honest. Like, really, I love that stuff, but that's me being a nerd on all things hormonal health. So next question.
This is a great question, and I feel like it's going to help a lot of you girls. She said, I work in a fast-paced banking job that asks to be on 5 days a week. I don't know how to cycle sync. So I'm going to read that again. I work in a fast-paced banking job that asks you to be on 5 days a week. I don't know how to cycle sync. Now, just want to preface, we also work 5 days a week.
If not 7.
It does require us to be on all the time in a very different capacity to maybe other roles there are out there, but we are still working, 5 to 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So it is very possible to still live in sync with your cycle. And it's interesting because we actually got a question about this in our Hormone Harmony program from one of our girls. She said, I'm seeing all this stuff and it's making me question, can I pursue my career and also still take care of my body? Like, can you have both, pretty much? And I think absolutely yes. Our biggest thing is always similar to what we were just saying with the birth control, is using your body as the guide. So first things first, before you even start to cycle sync, learn your own cycle by cycle tracking. We have a free tracker in the link of our bio. We also send you a video explaining how to use it. But the reason I want you to start here is because you are actually going to learn and understand your ebbs and flows, and also learn and understand your needs. And then you can use that data to be able to apply it to your 5-day banking job. So for example, you've tracked even one cycle, you start to learn about yourself. You've tracked for one cycle, you notice, oh, like in my luteal phase, the week before my period, I feel really lethargic. I get really easily overwhelmed. I'm super hungry and I snap at my partner all the time, whatever it might be. Okay. Coming into that next week before your period, knowing that you're working 5 days a week, what could we do with that information in mind? Okay, I work 5 days a week. Can I still have 10 minutes in the morning to get some sunlight? Yes, that's doable for me. Okay, tick, done that. Could I break my work day into 45-minute work blocks and take a deep breath, 3 deep breaths in between that 45-minute work block to help my nervous system? Yes, I could. Could I prepare extra food on the Sunday knowing that I get more hungry during that week? Yes, I can do that. That's possible for me. And then because I've taken care of my nervous system, I've eaten more food and, got that morning light in the morning, I'm not as snappy as my partner. So all of those things you can easily live in sync with your cycle whilst working a 5-day work week. And I think that this is how Maya and I, literally this is how we approach our days. Okay, I got a busy day. I'm in my luteal phase. How can I still support my hormones whilst hustling, whilst building this empire of women and, doing it in a way that still serves our body? And I think that my caveat to that is if you ever feel like your job is hindering you from supporting your body, asking yourself, is that work really serving you?
Yeah.
And obviously try what we just said first. And if that feels absolutely impossible, you're burnt out, you're drained, your health is suffering at the cost of your career, I would then argue, is that job really serving you?
I agree, because there's nothing as important as your health. What's that saying? You always want everything until you're sick, and then you just want to be healthy or something like that.
Yeah, you want like a million things when you're healthy and one thing when you're sick or something.
Yeah, which is to be healthy.
Yeah.
And I would even just add on to that, like, I'm not an active cycle syncer. Like, it's not like I've got this strict routine of like, oh, okay, I'm moving into this phase, I'm going to do this. And that's coming from someone who, like, I know my cycle like the back of my hand. I know what's going on every single day. And I'd say the biggest things that I change is just like my attitude towards life. Literally.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough for me. And I'm like, yep, I'm living in sync with my cycle because I know my cycle. I think let's change like cycle syncing to cycle awareness, and there'll be a lot more that comes from just cycle awareness, because then you're not relying on doing something that someone else has told you about your body. You're actually just listening to yourself, which Eliza explained beautifully just then.
Yeah, and I hope that just allows all of you girls to take a collective deep breath, because I think that's a really common misconception is Maya and I, because we live and breathe this work, we have 4 different versions of ourselves and different, vegetables every week and yada yada. And as Maya said, that's just not the case.
No, not at all. I get overwhelmed at the markets and I have to buy the same thing every single week. Okay, so next question. How to heal, these are all flowing beautifully into each other. How to heal things without obsessing over every detail and things that goes wrong. How to heal things without obsessing over every detail and thing that goes wrong.
Maybe and things that go wrong.
And things that go wrong. That goes wrong. Anyway, we get the picture.
We're picking up what you're putting down, girl.
I think that is a really great question. And I kind of wish that I had thought to this a little bit more before I answered this, because I kind of am like, how to not obsess over things. Because I understand that, and I understand as well, like, the world that we've grown up in, getting hyper fixated on doing things right can feel really overwhelming, and it's quite easy to get very attached to like specific outcomes from the work that you're doing. And then when you don't see that straight away, it's like it puts you down a bit, and then you lose that momentum. So I would say to not obsess over things, just do one thing at a time, and really think about how long it takes to form a habit for yourself, depending on you as a person as well, and taking baby steps. Like, you have your whole life to do this. There's no need to rush.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is like putting it into perspective. Like, if you were to 4 years from now, you could be in the place that you want to be from doing all of these baby incremental steps, or you might not be. Those 4 years are going to go by anyway, so it depends on what you're doing during that time. And the way that we structure our programs is literally from like the most important thing to focus on first, really solidify that, get into a good momentum with that, feel like you're on top of what it is that we're like recommending you to implement, and then moving on to the next thing. So if you're someone who, you know, you're wanting to heal your hormones, you don't know where to start, and you're trying not to obsess over absolutely everything, take a moment to reflect about what the biggest stressor in your life is at this current point in time. Hopefully it's something that you can workshop and it's not like your partner or something. I mean, if it is your partner, well, then maybe that's a story for another day. But yeah, looking at the biggest stresses in your life, focusing on the main one, and then just really workshopping what can I do to relieve the stressor from my life and going from there.
Yeah, 100%. Just take it day by day. And I think that it is really, I am someone that very easily obsesses over health and getting everything right. And I think what I've found for me personally, and some of you might relate to this, some of you may not, is I think where that comes from is comparison. Because if I am waking up and one of my goals is to have a savory breakfast, and I'm doing that and I'm in my own little bubble and I feel really good about it, I'm like amazing, and then I open my Instagram and I see someone saying that you also need to drink 2 liters of water a day, you also need to walk 30 minutes, then all of a sudden my little positive bubble of feeling achieved and feeling really proud of myself for this one new challenge that it's burst. Yeah. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, well, I need to do more. I need to be better. And if you are someone that feels, resonates with that, put the phone down.
Yeah.
It really is.
We were talking about this morning.
Yeah, it is where a lot of our problems stem from. I invested in a brick, which has been incredible, mainly for work focus, but for someone that is struggling with self-worth, comparison, it would also be an incredible tool. You don't need to invest in something like that, but really just putting some boundaries in place, unfollowing people that make you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Even if that's our account. Hopefully not.
See ya.
But yeah, I think that's a huge part as well. And we love to say in our Hormone Harmony program, because this is something that comes up a lot, is feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you're not doing enough and obsessing about those things, is before you start this journey, take a little snapshot of like a normal day in a life for you and where you are now. And then as you move through, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm not where I want to be. But when you can have a moment and reflect where you once were, you can be like, oh my God,
I've actually come so far.
Yeah, I've come so far. And like, it's interesting because I feel like that happens to Maya and I a lot is, there's always the next thing that you want to get to. But then when you surround yourself with people that maybe are where you once were, you're like, wow, I actually have come really far.
Yeah.
And it takes that little mirror, but you can create that mirror for yourself.
Reflection is probably a really good point there as well, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like we get a lot of girls that are like, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, but like I still want to do this, and it's like, hang on a second, look at all the things that you have done.
Yeah,
like, let's just acknowledge, so harsh on ourselves. Like, we just need to honestly turn our phones off, take a few deep breaths, go outside and relax. And I honestly feel like by doing that, there will be more positive results in your hormonal health than like stressing about doing everything right.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a round-winded way to answer that question, but I'm sure that message landed.
I think we honestly could do a whole episode on this.
Perfection.
Perfectionism and overthinking and being harsh on yourself.
Yeah, very true. We should do that.
Okay, last question for me is, what causes period pain and how do I help it? So I recently did a video on this, and hopefully you girls can follow along with me in your ears, but your body creates hormone-like substances called prostaglandins, and prostaglandins send messages to your body, and there are 3 main prostaglandins when it comes to having a period. So there's a PGE1, PGE2, and PGE3 for short. So PGE1 and 3 are antispasmodic in nature. So they actually help relax the uterus whilst you're having your period. PGE2 is the prostaglandin that contracts your uterus, because we need our uterus to contract, otherwise our endometrium lining is not going to be expelled, which would mean it would build up and there'd be a whole host of issues with that. So we do need PGE2, we do need contractions, and those contractions are what can cause cramps. However, as I just said, we also have PGE1 and PGE3. So there's actually double the amount of antispasmodic, I can never say that word,
Yeah, no, that's right.
prostaglandins than there are like spasmodic prostaglandins.
I just think of like spasming, you know, spasm.
So we have double the amount of pretty much natural painkillers being produced in our body than we do contractions in our body. However, what can happen is when our body is in an unhealthy, there's an imbalance within the body can create too much of that PGE2, which is causing those really intense cramps. And prostaglandins, they don't just stay in the uterus, they can go into your back, down your legs. So that's why it can feel like a whole body episode. You feel really nauseous, diarrhea, the whole works. And that is because your body is being flooded with way too much of the PGE2 prostaglandin. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I jumbled it a little bit there, but hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. So how can you help it? So a big thing that causes PGE2 to be created in excess is inflammation. So reducing inflammation in the body wherever possible is going to be really important. And that can be through your foods, but it also can be through stress. So stress causes our body to be inflamed. Inflammatory response is like our body's protective mechanism.
Which is important.
Which is very important. But when we're in that state of stress all the time because we're really stressed at work, we're not getting enough sleep, we're speaking negatively to ourselves all the time, we're in an unhealthy relationship, we over exercise, we're under eating, this creates a lot of inflammation in the body, which then causes those period cramps. So to keep it short and sweet, have a little scan of your life, sit down, have a think about the foods that you're eating, the relationships you have, the way you speak to yourself, the stress in your life, how well you're sleeping, and figure out if there's any big things that jump out to you that you could start working on. Another one is caffeine. A lot of us drink way too much caffeine, so being mindful of your caffeine intake. Some people it sits really well with. Exhibit A, Maya loves her coffee, can drink one every day throughout her cycle. Me, I have no coffee whatsoever because it just doesn't sit right with me. So again, test it within yourself, use your body as a guide. But if you are someone that's struggling with painful periods, I would suggest just cutting it out for the next 1 to 2 cycles and see how you go. And if you are going to continue having coffee, just making sure you're always having it after some breakfast.
What would you drink instead of coffee, Eliza?
Solistic! Our bone broth cacao. You can get it now online.
Honestly, such a great alternative. And
It's delicious.
I do feel like in my later luteal phase, and have a look at this within yourself, guys, as well. My body is calling me inward. It is saying, baby girl, come and slow down and just take a chill pill. And I'm like, coffee. But the days where I don't do that and I just have a cacao instead, or maybe just have a single shot of coffee, I know that my body is thanking me. And it's thank you so much for honoring this more of an inward time, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, caffeine is definitely a big one. Alrighty, this is a good one to end with actually. So Mel said, new graduate clinic nutritionist in New Zealand.
Congrats!
How did you find the courage to go all in with Hormone Harmony? This is a great question, Mel, and I feel like going all in is literally the answer to our whole business would not be here if we didn't go all in. And I think the courage came from, and again, we're going to bring it back to the fact that there are 2 of us, so I think we were definitely hyping each other up.
Yeah.
Upon reflection, do I think what we did was a smart move? No. But do I regret it? No, not at all. I would never regret that. So essentially, Eliza and I, we both quit our full-time jobs whilst traveling the world to make Hormone Harmony, which is our core program, our main source of income and our main job. So doing that whilst traveling, living off your savings, whilst trying to support 2 people through this program, it's a lot, right? To like just have that vision and go all in. But I think the courage came from, mate, I just believed in us so much. Like, I just had no doubt about it. I remember our first product that we came out with was our ebook, and I couldn't write that thing without crying. Like, every single time I opened that Canva document to write that ebook, I was crying because I was just like, I just know that this is where I'm supposed to be. So I feel like if you have that passion, you have that motivation, and you have that belief in yourself, you're not going to fail. Like, go and spread the word, jump out there, put yourself in the deep end and go for it. I think that's where the courage came from, was just like being like, the world needs more of us.
100%. And I also think as well, like, you can always come back to your baseline.
Yes.
Like, it's like with anything, if you're thinking about moving overseas, you don't like it, move back home.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we take life way too seriously.
way too seriously.
Honestly.
And it's like, if you want to go all in, was it nutritionist?
Yeah,
Was that right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, what was it again?
Yeah.
So if you want to go all in being a nutritionist full time, then do that. And then if it doesn't work out the way that you thought it would, you can go back to where you are right now. You know, I'm sure you could get the same job or a similar situation, and you're actually going to go back in a better position because you would have learnt so much. Nothing teaches you more than business.
Yeah.
It's like
Crazy.
it is the biggest.
It's humbling, but it's also inspiring.
Yeah, you just learn stuff all the time. So even we've failed with so many things, and I'm so grateful we have, because we just learn stuff all the time. Oh, send that email to 9,000 people. That was a mistake. You know, you're just learning. And so I would just say, just go for it. Of course, like, I would say, if you want to think like intellectually, have enough money in your account to be able to feed yourself and pay your rent and pay the minimum bills for the next 1 to 3 months.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got $0 in your bank account, make that your goal. Like, I'm going to go all in on my business once I have 3 months worth of savings, like bare minimum. And then once you get there, you go all in, or whatever it might be. But, you know, make sure that you're still able to feed yourself and have a roof over your head. But if you've got that, then go all in.
And if you've got that and you keep going, oh, I'll just save a little bit more, they'll never be the right time to do it.
Never, ever.
And I think you've just got to take that leap and go.
Yeah.
And something that I would hate for myself is to be on my deathbed and look back and be like, wow, I wish I took that risk. Like, my life would have been, I wonder how it would have turned out, you know?
Yeah.
And I never want to have those thoughts. I always want to just try everything and give everything a red hot crack. So that's how we found the courage to go all in. And thank goodness we did, because Hormone Harmony is our baby and we love her.
We do love her.
Yeah. It hasn't been all smooth sailing at all. Like, I don't think we paid ourselves.
Nothing ever is,
until... Have we ever paid ourselves?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely been, nothing's been smooth sailing. I feel like the world of Instagram can make everything look, you know, nice and pretty, and there's butterflies everywhere, but it's definitely not been like that. But it also has been like that. It comes in waves, and you've got to accept that. And I think you'll never know that for yourself unless you just go and do it. So Mel, we're talking to you right now, girl.
Go
you got
out.
this.
Get
We're
it.
backing you.
And with that,
We're going to wrap things up because Eliza's got to go.
I have a call. Bye now.
Love you. See you next week.